Hello dear listeners, welcome to another Life History channel. Tonight we are winding back time. I'm taking you back centuries to the frozen plains of North America. Close your eyes and imagine. The wind howls around you like a wounded beast. The temperature has dropped to minus 30 degrees, maybe even colder. Snow blankets everything as far as your eyes can see. And you, yes you, are standing outside a conical hide tent in the middle of this frozen wilderness. Your breath turns to ice crystals in the air. Your fingers ache from the cold. And somehow, you must survive this night. But before we delve deeper into this frozen journey, I have a small request from you. To support our stories and the effort we put in, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and share in the comments where in the world you're listening from right now. It would truly make us happy. If you are ready, dim the lights, find a comfortable place, pull your blanket close, take a deep breath. We are beginning a journey into the heart of winter, into the world of the Native Americans, and discovering how they survived the impossible cold. You are a member of the Lakota tribe. It is the dead of winter, the moon of popping trees they call it. Because that is what happens when the temperature plummets so low. The sap inside the trees freezes solid, expands, and the trunks explode with sounds like gunshots in the night. Imagine hearing that as you try to sleep. Nature itself is shattering around you. Your home is a tipi, not some flimsy camping tent, but a carefully engineered dwelling made from buffalo hides stretched over wooden poles. From the outside it looks impossibly thin, impossibly fragile against the screaming wind. You might think, how could anyone survive in that? It is just animal skins, but you would be wrong, so very wrong. Step inside with me, duck through the entrance flap, and feel the difference immediately. The wind stops, that constant bone-chilling howl becomes muffled, distant. In the centre of the teepee a small fire crackles, sending up a thin stream of smoke that exits through the hole at the top. The flames dance, casting warm orange light on the curved walls around you. But here is where it gets interesting. The tipi is not just one layer of hide. No, the Lakota, the Cheyenne, the Blackfoot. These tribes understood engineering in ways that would make modern architects jealous. They used a liner, a second interior wall of hide that hangs about 5 or 6 feet high inside the teepee. This creates a dead air space between the outer wall and the inner wall. And dead air, my friend, is one of nature's best insulators. Think about it. Modern winter coats use the same principle. Down feathers, synthetic fill, they all trap air. Air does not conduct heat well, so it acts as a barrier. The Native Americans figured this out hundreds of years before REI existed, before North Face, before anyone coined the term thermal efficiency. That liner does something else too. It directs airflow. Cold air sinks, so fresh air comes in at the bottom, gets warmed by the fire, rises, and exits through the smoke hole at the top. It is a natural convection system. A chimney effect. The tipi breathes, pulling in oxygen for the fire, expelling smoke and moisture, all while maintaining warmth. You settle onto your sleeping area, not a memory foam mattress, definitely not, but layers of buffalo robes, thick, furry, warm. Beneath them, dried grass provides cushioning and more insulation from the frozen ground below, because the ground will kill you faster than the air. Cold seeps up through the earth like a vampire draining life, but that grass layer, those hides. They create a barrier. Your clothing matters too. You're not wearing cotton pajamas. Cotton would be a death sentence out here. When cotton gets wet, from sweat, from snow, it stays wet and pulls heat from your body. No, you're wearing leather, buckskin, maybe a buffalo robe wrapped around you. Leather breathes but blocks wind. The buffalo robe, with the fur still on, is like wearing a portable heating system. The fire in the centre is small. Surprisingly small. You might expect a roaring blaze, but no. A small fire produces less smoke, uses less wood, and in a space this well insulated you do not need much. The teepee might be 15 feet in diameter, maybe 20, not huge space. Easier to heat, smart. Around you, your family sleeps, bodies close together. Not for sentimentality, though surely there is that too, but for warmth. Human bodies are furnaces. We each put out about 100 watts of heat, like a bright light bulb. Cluster 5 or 6 people together in an insulated space, and you have 500 or 600 watts of continuous heating. No electricity needed. Outside the wind shrieks. Inside you hear the soft crackle of the fire, the steady breathing of sleeping family members, maybe a dog curled at your feet, adding its warmth to yours. Yes, dogs. Dogs were heating systems with legs. They slept in the teepees, provided warmth, provided early warning if predators or enemies approached. Multifunctional, efficient. But let's talk about the science for a moment. Because this is not just about survival, this is about thriving in conditions that would send modern humans running for the nearest Hilton. The conical shape of the teepee is not arbitrary. It sheds wind. Snow slides off. A dome would accumulate snow on top, collapsing eventually. But a cone, a steep cone, snow cannot grip. Wind flows around it rather than slamming into a flat wall. The smoke hole at the top has flaps, ear flaps they call them, 2 adjustable flaps that can be positioned using poles from inside to control the draft, to keep rain and snow out while letting smoke escape. Adjustable ventilation in a tent made of buffalo hide. Brilliant. The fire pit is not just a random spot. It is dug slightly below floor level, sometimes lined with stones. The stones absorb heat during the evening, then radiate it back slowly through the night. Thermal mass. The same principle used in modern radiant floor heating, except this was invented by people who never set foot in an engineering school. You lie there, warm, listening to the storm rage outside, and you realize something. The people who built this, who designed this system over generations of trial and error, they were not primitive. That word gets thrown around too much. Primitive, as if lacking smartphones makes someone stupid. These people understood their environment intimately, adapted to it, thrived in it. They knew which woods burned longest with least smoke. Cedar, pine, too much smoke. Cottonwood, ash, better. They knew how to cure hides so they remained supple in cold, did not crack or stiffen. They knew dozens of ways to make fire, even in wet conditions, even with numb fingers. The buffalo robe you sleep under, let me tell you about that. It is not just a blanket. A full buffalo hide with winter fur can weigh 30 pounds, maybe more. That weight matters. It presses down on you, reducing heat loss through convection. The fur itself is dense, hollow hairs that trap air. Natural insulation rated better than most synthetic materials even today. The Lakota had a saying, the buffalo gave them everything. Meat for food, hides for shelter and clothing, bones for tools, sinew for thread, horns for implements. Even the tail became a fly swatter. Nothing wasted. But more than that, the buffalo provided the technology for winter survival. Without buffalo robes, without those thick hides for teepee walls, life on the Great Plains in winter would have been nearly impossible. You shift slightly in your sleeping spot. The grass beneath rustles. That grass, dried prairie grass, was gathered in autumn, cut, dried, bundled. It provided both cushioning and insulation, air trapped between the grass stems. Again, that principle of dead air space, layer after layer of intelligent design. Some tribes added another element, a dew cloth, a piece of cloth or hide stretched at shoulder height inside the teepee, angled inward. When warm air inside meets cold air from the walls, condensation forms. Moisture. That moisture could make everything damp, and damp is deadly and cold, but the dew cloth catches the condensation, lets it run down to the edge, away from sleeping areas. Moisture management. In a tent. In the 1600s. Now you might be thinking, okay, the teepee is clever, but what about really brutal nights? -40 degrees, blizzard conditions, whiteout snow. Surely people froze, and yes, sometimes they did. Winter was dangerous. But tribes had additional strategies. On the worst nights, they sealed the bottom edge of the teepee with snow, packed snow all around the base, creating a solid barrier against wind. Snow is an insulator. Igloos work on this principle. Air pockets in snow. You see the pattern emerging. Everything comes back to trapping air. They also used windbreaks, brush piles, snow walls, positioned around the camp to deflect the worst gusts. Teepees were set up in sheltered areas when possible. River valleys, tree groves, places where natural features broke the wind. Inside, on brutal nights, everyone moved closer to the centre, closer to the fire. Personal space became a luxury no one could afford. You slept pressed against your siblings, your parents, your grandparents. Heat shared is heat multiplied. Food played a role too. High-fat foods. Pemmican, a mixture of dried meat rendered fat and berries. Eating fat provides calories, and calories are fuel. Your body burns food to generate heat. A person sitting still in the cold needs more calories than someone sitting in warmth, because the body is working constantly to maintain its core temperature. The Native Americans understood this. Winter diets were rich in fats and proteins. Before sleeping, you might drink warm broth, eat some dried meat. That internal furnace needs stoking. Going to bed hungry in winter is dangerous. Your body will burn through its reserves trying to stay warm, wake you with shivers, rob you of rest. Let us talk about clothing again, because this is crucial. Layering. They invented layering, an inner layer of soft hide against the skin, then a warmer layer with fur, then an outer layer of wind-resistant leather. The inner layer wicks moisture from your skin. The middle layer insulates. The outer layer blocks wind. 3-layer system. Sound familiar? That is what every modern outdoor gear company sells you now. Native Americans did it first. Footwear, moccasins stuffed with dried grass or fur. The grass insulates your feet from the cold ground, provides cushioning, and can be replaced when it gets damp. Genius. Simple. Effective. Better than many modern boots in terms of insulation value. Mittens, not gloves. Gloves separate your fingers. Each finger loses heat independently. Mittens keep fingers together, sharing warmth. Often mittens were oversized, allowing you to pull your hands up into the sleeves, Tuck them against your body. Your breath fogs in the air as you lie there, even inside the teepee. It is not exactly balmy. Maybe 40 degrees Fahrenheit inside when it is minus 30 outside, a 70-degree difference. That is remarkable. That is survival. The fire needs tending through the night. Someone wakes, adds a few small pieces of wood, tends the coals. It is a rhythm. Sleep, wake, tend fire. Sleep. Everyone takes turns. Children learn this young. Fire-keeping is life-keeping. You listen to the storm. Snow hisses against the teepee walls like static. The hide walls shudder and flex with each gust, but they hold. They have held for generations. This design, refined over centuries, tested by the harshest winters imaginable, has never failed your people. Anthropologists love to talk about human adaptation. We are not the fastest animals, not the strongest, not equipped with fur or claws or venom, but we are adaptable. We learn, we build, we engineer solutions. The tipi is evidence of that. A portable, efficient, elegant solution to an extreme problem. Think about what this represents. Your ancestors, maybe not yours specifically, but humans in general, looked at a hostile environment and said, "We will not just survive here, we will thrive here. We will raise families here. We will create art and music and stories here. We will live fully human lives in conditions that seem uninhabitable." And they did, for thousands of years, long before climate-controlled homes, before central heating and electric blankets, before any of the technology we consider essential. They did it with hides and wood and fire and knowledge. Knowledge passed down, elder to child, grandmother to granddaughter, the best way to tan a hide, the right angle for smoke flaps in different wind conditions, which roots and plants could be eaten in winter when game was scarce, how to read the weather in the clouds and the behaviour of animals. This was not written in books. There were no instruction manuals. This was oral tradition, demonstration, practice, failure and learning. A young person would watch an elder set up a tipi dozens of times, help with the work, make mistakes, be corrected, until the knowledge settled into their hands and their instincts. You lie there warm, or warm enough, while outside the world tries to kill you. Because that is what winter is on the Great Plains. Beautiful, majestic, and absolutely lethal if you do not know what you're doing. Modern people romanticize pre-industrial life sometimes, living in harmony with nature, simple times. But there was nothing simple about this. Every day in winter was a calculated effort to stay alive. Every decision mattered. Run out of firewood, you could freeze, get wet and not dry out, frostbite, hypothermia, make a mistake in setting up your teepee. The wind could tear it down in the night, but here is what is remarkable. Despite the danger, despite the constant challenge, these cultures flourished. They created rich spiritual traditions, complex social structures, beautiful art. The Lakota, the Cheyenne, the Blackfoot, the Comanche. These were not people barely scraping by. They had leisure time. They told stories. They played games. They laughed. Survival was hard, but it was not everything. Once you mastered the basics, once you had shelter and food and fire, life could be about more than just staying warm. It could be about meaning, connection, beauty. Your children slept knowing they were safe, not because the teepee was impervious to cold, but because generations of knowledge protected them, because their parents knew how to keep them warm, because the community worked together, sharing resources, helping those who struggled. If a family lost their buffalo robes in a fire or flood, others would share. If someone's teepee was damaged, the community would help repair it. Survival was collective. No one made it alone. That is another thing modern individualistic cultures forget. In harsh environments, cooperation is not optional. It is essential. The elderly were valued, not burdens. They held the knowledge. They remembered the terrible winter of 20 years ago, the strategies that worked, the mistakes that killed people. They were libraries of survival information, respected, cared for. Because losing an elder meant losing irreplaceable knowledge. Children learned by doing. A 5-year-old could help gather firewood, tend the fire, learn to recognize when more fuel was needed. A 10-year-old could help with teepee setup, understand the principles. By 15, they could do it themselves. Competence was expected, not as pressure, but as empowerment. You were not helpless. You were capable. Women often owned the teepees. Among many plains tribes, women set them up, took them down, maintained them. This was not menial labor. This was essential engineering. A well-set teepee meant life. A poorly set one meant death. Women held enormous practical power in these societies because they controlled the literal infrastructure of survival. Men hunted, provided the buffalo, defended the camp, but women processed the hides, constructed the shelter, managed the home. Partnership. Different roles, but equally vital. Neither could succeed without the other. You drift towards sleep. The fire has burned down to coals now, glowing red and orange, pulsing with heat. Someone will wake in an hour, add more wood. But for now, warmth, darkness, the sound of breathing all around you. Outside, the storm continues. Snow piles up, wind screams, trees crack like rifle shots. Somewhere out there, wolves howl, also seeking shelter, also trying to survive the night. But inside this cone of hide and wood and human ingenuity, you are safe. Your mind wanders as sleep approaches. You think about the buffalo, the hunt last autumn, the herd moving like a brown river across the grassland, the thunder of hooves, the skill required to bring one down, the massive animal falling, its breath steaming in cold air, the thanks given to its spirit, the prayer of gratitude, nothing wasted, everything used. You think about summer, warm nights under stars, the teepee sides rolled up to let breezes through. The same structure that protects you from winter wind also provides shade from summer sun, ventilation from summer heat. Adaptable, practical, beautiful in its simplicity. The Lakota word for tipi means they dwell. Simple, direct. This is where we dwell. This is home. Not a house, a home. The difference matters. A house is a building. A home is where you are known, where you are safe, where you belong, and belonging. That is what made winter survivable. Not just the physical shelter, but the social warmth, the knowledge that you are part of something larger, that your survival mattered to others, that you would wake up surrounded by people who cared whether you woke up at all. Modern life, comfortable as it is, sometimes loses that. We have central heating, but sleep alone in separate rooms. We have plenty, but less community. We have survived winter, but forgotten how to help each other through it. Not that the past was perfect. Disease was common, injuries often fatal, infant mortality high. life expectancy short by modern standards. We should not romanticize, but we can recognize what was good, what was wise, what worked. The tipi worked. For thousands of years, across countless winters, it worked. Babies were born in tipis in February blizzards and survived. Elders lived to 70 or 80, sleeping in tipis every winter of their lives. The design was proven, tested, refined. When Europeans first encountered plains tribes, they were often amazed. How do these people live in tents in this weather? It seemed impossible, but the Europeans did not understand. They were thinking of European tents, canvas lean-tos, inadequate temporary shelters. They did not recognize the tipi for what it was: sophisticated architecture. Some European fur traders and explorers, once they experienced tipi living, preferred it to frontier cabins. Warmer, they said, better ventilated, less smoky, more comfortable. A properly made tipi with a good fire and plenty of robes. It was pleasant, not just survivable. Pleasant. You're deeply relaxed now. The warmth has soaked into your bones. Your muscles have released their tension. Outside might be deadly, but in here, in this moment, you're fine. More than fine. You are home. Sleep pulls at you. That particular weight of true tiredness, earned by a day of work, of living fully. Not the restless exhaustion of modern stress, but the clean fatigue of physical effort and cold air and being truly tired. Your last thought before sleep takes you. Gratitude. For the buffalo that gave its hide. For the ancestors who figured out this design. For the family sleeping around you. For the fire still glowing. For being alive in this moment, in this place, despite everything trying to freeze you solid. And then sleep, deep, warm, safer, while outside winter does its worst. Morning comes slowly. Dawn in winter is reluctant, hesitant. The fire has burned low through the night, just coals now. The tipi interior is colder than when you slept, but not freezing. Your breath still fogs, but you are not shivering. The buffalo robes have held their heat, your body heat, trapped all night, has kept your sleeping space comfortable. Someone is already awake. You hear them moving carefully, adding kindling to the coals. Small twigs first, dry grass, then larger sticks, coaxing the fire back to life. It is an art. Too much wood too fast smothers the coals. Too little and the fire dies. But experienced hands know exactly how much, exactly when. Smoke rises, finds the smoke hole, escapes into the grey dawn outside. Light filters in through the hole too, pale and cold. Another day, another victory over winter. You survive the night. Simple as that sounds, it matters. Others begin to stir, rustling of robes, soft voices. A child whimpers, cold nose poking out from under covers. A mother pulls the child close, wraps the robe tighter. Not time to get up yet. Let the fire build. Let warmth spread through the tipi first. You notice frost on the inside of the tipi walls near the top, where the warmest air meets the coldest hide. Crystals of ice, delicate and intricate. Beautiful in a way, but also a reminder. Right there, inches away. The temperature is lethal, but here, wrapped in fur and surrounded by family, you are fine. The person tending the fire adds larger pieces now. The flames grow, yellow, orange, hungry. Heat begins to radiate outward in waves. You feel it on your face. The cold retreats, pushed back, held at bay for another day. Someone opens a pufflesh, a rawhide container, and pulls out dried meat. Breakfast will be simple. Pemmican maybe. Some dried berries if any remain. Nothing hot yet. The fire is still too new, but something to eat. Fuel for your internal furnace. You think about the work ahead today. If the storm has passed, there will be snow to clear from the entrance, paths to be trampled down between tipis, firewood to be brought in, a constant task in winter. Always gathering, always burning, always needing more. Hunting might be possible if the weather holds. Deer move in winter, seeking food just like humans. Rabbits leave tracks in snow, easy to follow. But hunting in deep snow is exhausting. Every step breaks through the crust. Your legs burn with effort. Snowshoes help. Woven frames that distribute your weight. Another piece of ingenious technology. But today might be a day to stay close, to work inside, to repair clothing, tools, tell stories. Winter was when oral traditions were passed on. The long dark months, when outside work was limited, became times for teaching, for sharing history, for keeping culture alive. An elder might tell the story of how the people received the tipi, how the Creator showed them the design, how it represented the universe itself, the floor as earth, the walls as sky, the poles as paths connecting earth to the heavens. Sacred geometry, spiritual and practical at once, or stories of great hunts, of brave deeds, of lessons learned the hard way, stories that taught without preaching, that entertained while educating. Every story had layers, meanings for children, deeper meanings for adults, wisdom for elders who had heard the story 100 times, but always found something new. You finally emerge from the buffalo robes. Cold air hits you immediately. The fire has warmed the teepee, but not like summer warm. Winter warm is relative. It means you will not die. It means you can function. That is enough. Your clothing is still on. You slept in it. Everyone does. Undressing in winter is foolish unless you're near a very good fire. Your body heat, trapped in your clothes all night, stays with you, getting dressed cold. Putting on cold clothes, that saps energy and warmth. You pull on your moccasins, check the grass insulation inside, still dry. Good. Damp feet are dangerous. Frostbite starts at the extremities. Fingers, toes, nose, ears. Keep them covered, keep them dry. Constant vigilance. Outside. You hear the camp coming to life. Voices, dogs barking, the sound of snow being moved, other fires being built. Smoke rises from every teepee, grey columns reaching up into the white sky. The village looks peaceful from inside, almost cosy despite the harsh surroundings. But you know the reality. Every person out there is engaged in the same struggle. Stay warm, find food, survive. Repeat tomorrow. Winter is a siege, and you're all defending against it together. Children venture out first, amazingly resilient. They bundle up, wrap themselves in small robes, and go play in the snow, building things, throwing snowballs, sliding down hills. Their laughter rings through the cold air, defiant and joyful. Winter will not steal their childhood, not today. Adults watch the children with a mixture of amusement and concern. Play is good. Play keeps spirits up. But winter can turn deadly in moments. A child who wanders too far, who gets wet and does not come in soon enough, who falls through ice on a river. Vigilance never stops. The dogs are up now too, shaking snow from their fur. They slept outside mostly, curled in tight balls. noses tucked under tails. Their thick winter coats protect them, but they gravitate toward the tipis, seeking scraps of food, seeking human company. Some are allowed inside on the coldest nights. Warmth is warmth, whether from humans or dogs. You step outside. The cold hits like a physical blow. Your lungs ache as you breathe in. The air is so cold it feels sharp, cutting, but you are dressed for it, prepared. You can handle this. The sky is clearing. Yesterday's storm is moving east. Blue beginning to show between grey clouds. The sun, pale and distant, offers light, but little warmth. Still, clear sky means the temperature will drop tonight. Clouds trap heat. Clear sky lets it escape into space. Tonight might be colder than last night. More wood will be needed. Always more wood. You head toward the tree line where dead branches can be gathered. Others are already there, breaking off frozen limbs, loading them onto hide sleds that can be dragged back to camp. The work warms you. Physical effort generates heat. Your body is a furnace, and exercise stokes it. Breathe harder. Heart beats faster. Blood flows. Muscles warm. You learn to pace yourself. Work hard enough to stay warm. Not so hard you sweat. Sweat is dangerous. Wet clothing in winter means death. You find a good dead branch, test it. Dry wood is lighter, breaks with a sharp crack. Wet or rotten wood is heavy, bends instead of breaking. You want dry. Dry burns hot with less smoke. You break the branch into manageable pieces. Bundle them together. Add them to your sled. The forest is quiet in winter. Birds are mostly gone, migrated south. Mammals are scarce, hibernating or struggling to find food like you. But the trees stand silent, coated in snow and ice. They look dead, but they are not. They are waiting, dormant, conserving energy until spring. You understand that feeling? Winter is about conservation. Do not waste energy. Do not waste resources. Every calorie counts. Every piece of wood matters. Every decision affects survival. Back at camp, you stack your wood near the teepee, under an overhang of hide protected from snow. Wet wood will not burn, or it burns poorly, wasting energy on evaporation instead of producing heat. Keep it dry. Keep it ready. Inside, someone is cooking now, a pot of stew suspended over the fire. Meat, roots, whatever can be spared. The smell is incredible. Your stomach growls. You've been awake for hours but eaten only a little dried meat. A hot meal will be welcome. The pot is made of hide. Yes, hide. A buffalo stomach or a sewn pouch of leather, waterproofed with fat and resin. You cannot put hide directly on fire, it would burn. But you can heat stones in the fire until they are glowing hot, then drop them into the liquid. The stones boil the water cooks the food. Another clever solution to a problem. Later, metal pots will come, traded from Europeans, iron kettles that can sit directly on fire. Easier, more efficient. But for generations before that, hot stones and hide pots worked fine. Not ideal, but functional. Survival is often about functional rather than ideal. You eat. The hot food spreads warmth through your body. Your core temperature rises. Your extremities warm. Fingers tingle as circulation improves. Hot food in winter is not just nutrition. It is medicine. It is morale. It is a reminder that life can still be pleasant, even in brutal conditions. After eating, there is a lull. Midday. The sun is as high as it will get, though in winter that is not very high. Long shadows stretch across the snow. The temperature has risen, maybe, a few degrees, enough to notice but not enough to matter. Some people are working on hides, scraping them, stretching them, tanning. This is endless work. Hides are everything: clothing, shelter, containers, ropes, shields. You need hides constantly. And processing a hide takes days, weeks of work. Scraping off fat and flesh, treating it with brains or liver to soften it, smoking it to preserve it, stretching it. Hours and hours of labour. Women do most of this work, not because of some gender rule, but because men are more often out hunting. Division of labour that makes sense in a survival context. But everyone knows how to do everything. If necessary, men can process hides, women can hunt. Flexibility keeps you alive. You join in the work, scraping a hide with a bone tool. The motion is repetitive, meditative. Your mind wanders. You think about nothing in particular, just the motion, the gradual progress, the hide slowly becoming supple under your hands. Around you, people talk, gossip, jokes, plans. Who needs help with what? Who saw tracks near the river? Whose child is sick? Is there enough food? Should we move camp soon? 1,000 small details that keep a community functioning. This is the real survival skill. Not just fire and shelter, but cooperation, communication, caring about each other's welfare. A community that works together survives. A community that fractures, where people hoard resources or refuse to help. That community dies. You have seen it happen. Other bands, other tribes, torn apart by internal conflict. Sometimes it was over leadership, sometimes over resources, sometimes over something as simple as a personal grudge that escalated. And when a community tears itself apart in winter, people freeze, people starve, children die, so you maintain the peace. You help when asked. You ask for help when needed. You forgive small slights. You share what you have. Not because you are saintly, but because your survival depends on everyone else's survival. The afternoon wears on. The sun begins its descent early in winter. By mid-afternoon, the light is already fading. Shadows lengthen. The temperature drops noticeably. People begin moving back toward their tipis, preparing for another long night. You check your firewood supply. Enough for tonight, maybe. You will need more tomorrow. Always thinking ahead, always planning. Winter does not forgive poor planning. Inside the tipi again, the fire is built up. Larger pieces of wood added. The goal is to create a bed of coals that will last through the evening, radiating steady heat. Big flames look impressive but burn out quickly. Coals, glowing red and orange, those last. Those keep you warm through the dark hours. Dinner is prepared, more of the stew from earlier, stretched with water, maybe some dried corn added if any remains from autumn. Food stores are precious in winter. You never know how long winter will last. An early spring is a blessing. A late spring, that can be catastrophic. Some years, food runs out before spring arrives. Then the real hunger begins. People grow thin, weak, vulnerable to disease. The very young and very old die first. Winter claims them quietly. Pneumonia, starvation, or cold. The band mourns but cannot stop as survival demands forward motion. But this year, so far, food is adequate. Not abundant, never abundant in winter, but adequate. Enough. The hunts in autumn were good. The drying and preserving were done properly. Careful rationing means everyone eats. Not much, but enough. You eat your portion slowly, savouring each bite, making it last. Hunger is constant in winter, a background sensation you learn to ignore. True starvation is different, a gnawing pain that never stops. But this manageable hunger, this is just winter. After dinner, stories begin. An elder starts talking. His voice is rough, weathered by decades of cold air, but strong, clear. Everyone quiets to listen. He tells of a winter long ago, before he was born, before his father was born, when the people first came to these plains, how they struggled at first, how many died, how they learned from their mistakes, how they adapted, how they survived. The story is not cheerful, it is honest. Winter killed people, still does, but the people learned. They watched animals, noticed how buffalo faced away from wind, how wolves denned up in sheltered spots, how mice stored food underground. Nature was a teacher, if you paid attention. They experimented with tipi designs. Early versions let in too much wind, let out too much heat. People froze, so they adjusted, added the liner, changed the angle of poles, refined the smoke hole design. Each generation made small improvements. Each winter tested the changes. What worked was kept. What failed was abandoned. Thousands of years of trial and error compressed into one story, told in an hour, passed to the next generation. This is how knowledge survives without writing, through story, through repetition, through the voices of elders who remember, who teach, who ensure the young do not have to learn everything from scratch. Children listen with wide eyes. They have heard this story before. They will hear it again, each time they understand a little more, each time new details emerge. The story is not just history, it is instruction manual, blueprint, warning, encouragement. You will survive, the story says. Your ancestors survived worse. You have their knowledge, their strength, their blood. You're not alone in this, you never have been. The fire crackles. Sparks rise toward the smoke hole, tiny orange stars that wink out in the cold air above. Outside and full darkness now, the temperature plummeting, stars emerging, brilliant and sharp in the clear sky. Someone begins a song, others join, rhythmic, hypnotic, not loud, sound carries in cold air, but steady. The song is about endurance, about the calm turning of seasons, about how winter always ends, eventually. Spring always comes, eventually. Hold on, stay alive, wait. The singing soothes, creates connection. Everyone breathing together, voices blending, becoming something larger than individual sounds. This is community, this is culture. This is what makes you human rather than just another animal trying not to freeze. The children are getting sleepy. Small bodies curl up in the robes. Parents tuck them in, make sure they're covered, check that the fire is safe, that the smoke hole is clear, that everything is secure for the night. You prepare your sleeping area again. Fluff the dried grass beneath the robes. Arrange everything within reach. If you need to tend the fire in the night, you want to move as little as possible. Every movement lets cold air under the covers. Every opening of robes releases precious heat. You lie down, the weight of the buffalo robe settles over you. Heavy, warm, comforting. The fur tickles your chin slightly. You smell smoke, hide, the faint musk of buffalo. These smells mean safety, mean home around you. Others settle in. The murmur of quiet conversations, a baby nursing, a couple whispering, a child asking one more question before sleep. Normal life, ordinary moments, made extraordinary by the context, by the cold outside trying to kill you, by the fragile bubble of warmth you have created and must maintain. The fire burns lower. Someone will wake in a few hours to feed it. For now, it glows, provides light and heat, the heartbeat of the teepee. As long as the fire lives, you live. You think about the day, the wood gathered, the food eaten, the work undone. Small victories. Each one matters. Each one is another brick in the wall between you and death. Tomorrow will be similar. Wake, tend fire, eat, work, stay warm, sleep, repeat, day after day, week after week, month after month, until finally, the air softens. The snow begins to melt, the first birds return, green shoots push through the mud. Spring, but spring is months away still. Weeks and weeks of cold remain. You cannot think that far ahead, cannot afford hope that distant. You must focus on tonight, on now, on the immediate task of surviving the next 12 hours. Your eyes grow heavy, the warmth, the darkness, the steady breathing of sleepers around you, the crackle of the fire, all of it combines into a lullaby. Primitive, ancient, effective. You drift, not quite asleep yet, but close. That pleasant state between waking and dreaming, where thoughts become loose, unconnected, where worry fades, where you simply exist, warm, safe, alive. Sleep comes, deep, heavy, the sleep of exhaustion and safety combined. Your body repairs itself, muscles that worked all day begin to recover. Your mind processes the day, sorts memories, strengthens important connections, discards trivia. But even in sleep, awareness remains. Some part of your brain monitors the environment, listens for changes, the fire sound, the wind sound, the breathing of family. If any of these change, if danger emerges, you will wake instantly. This is survival sleep, never completely off, never fully vulnerable. Hours pass, the fire burns down, the tipi grows colder. Not dangerous cold, oh, not yet, but noticeable. Your body curls tighter instinctively. Conserving heat. Making yourself smaller, less surface area exposed. Someone wakes. You hear them moving, careful, quiet. They add wood to the fire, coax it back to flames. The light brightens briefly, orange glow painting the tipi walls, then settles back to coals. The temperature stabilizes, crisis averted, sleep continues. This happens 2, maybe 3 times per night. Whoever wakes naturally takes a turn, no schedule, no assignments, just awareness and a responsibility. The fire must not die, so it does not die. Simple as that. Outside, the night is brutally cold. Clear skies mean no insulating cloud layer. Heat radiates into space, the ground freezes harder. Metal would stick to skin, exposed flesh would freeze in minutes. But inside the tipi, life continues. Warm breath, beating hearts, dreams. What do people dream in a tipi in winter? Perhaps of summer, of warm days and full bellies, of running through tall grass, of buffalo herds so large they cover the horizon, of laughter and plenty and comfort. Or perhaps of spring, that first warm day when you can shed layers, when mud replaces snow, when everything smells of growth and possibility, when winter's grip finally releases. Or perhaps dreams are simpler, memories of loved ones, conversations replayed, worries about tomorrow, nothing profound, just the ordinary churn of a mind at rest. You dream, though in the morning you will not remember what, just fragments, impressions, the sense of having been somewhere else, done something, but the details slip away like water through fingers. Dawn approaches slowly, the darkness does not lift all at once. First, the blackness becomes dark grey, then lighter grey, then the faintest hint of blue. The stars fade, one by one, until only the brightest remain. Then they too vanish into the growing light. The fire is very low now, just coals. The tipi is cold, not freezing, but cold enough that emerging from the robes will be unpleasant. But it must be done. Life must continue. Winter does not care about your comfort. Someone wakes first. Always someone wakes first. They lie there a moment, gathering courage, then move quickly, throw off robes, grab kindling, build up the fire, shiver while working, blow on coals, add grass, add twigs, coax flames to life. Success. The fire catches, grows, heat begins to spread, the daily resurrection. Another morning conquered, another small victory. You wake to the sound and light of the fire building. Stretch carefully. Your muscles are stiff from cold and inactivity. Joints ache slightly. This is normal. Everyone feels this in winter mornings. The body protests the cold even while surviving it, but you are alive. That is the essential fact. You made it through another night. Not everyone does. People die in their sleep sometimes. Elders mostly. Their bodies simply give out. Fighting cold all night. Every night it takes a toll. Eventually some bodies cannot do it anymore. But you are still young, strong enough, your body can handle this, for now, for many winters yet. You will grow old someday, face your own final winter. But not today, not this year, not yet. You emerge from the robes into cold air, immediately uncomfortable. But you move toward the fire, let the heat wash over you. Hold your hands close to the flames, feel circulation return. Fingers prickling as they warm. Painful almost, but good pain. The pain of coming back to life. Others are waking now. The tipi filling with quiet morning sounds, rustling, soft voices, a child crying briefly before being soothed. A cough. The scrape of wood being added to the fire. Morning routine you'd done 1,000 times will be done 1,000 more. Breakfast is whatever remains from last night. Cold stew, dried meat, maybe some snow melted for water, nothing elaborate. Just fuel, energy to start the day. You eat quickly, without pleasure but without complaint. This is food, it will keep you moving. That is enough. The work of the day begins immediately. No lazy mornings in winter. You must gather wood, must check food stores, must repair anything damaged overnight, must care for the sick or elderly, must maintain the camp, must hunt if possible, must stay busy to stay warm. Idle hands freeze quickly, moving generates heat. So you move. Everyone moves. Children are sent to gather small sticks. Women work on hides or clothing repairs. Men check weapons, plan hunting strategies, venture out to check trap lines if they have them. The camp is a hive of quiet activity. No one rushes. Rushing wastes energy. But no one stops either. Stopping means freezing, so there is constant motion, purposeful, efficient, conserved energy applied to necessary tasks. You take your turn gathering wood again. This is daily work, endless work. The fire eats wood constantly. A tipi might burn through 50 pounds of wood per day in deep winter, maybe more. That is a lot of gathering, a lot of carrying, a lot of effort. But the alternative is freezing. So you gather, and everyone gathers, and the work gets done, because it must get done, because survival demands it. The sun rises higher, the day brightens, but brings little warmth. Winter sun is weak, pale, distant. It provides light but not heat. The temperature might rise a few degrees, from -30 to -25. A difference you can barely feel. You notice the snow has a crust now, frozen solid overnight. You can almost walk on top without breaking through, almost. Every few steps you crash through, up to your knees, have to pull yourself out. Exhausting work, but necessary. The wood you gather today must last tonight, and tomorrow you will gather more, and the day after, on and on, until spring. This is winter. Repetitive, demanding, unforgiving, Back at camp, you see smoke rising from every tipi again, each family maintaining their own small fire, their own bubble of warmth, together but separate, a village of islands, each one fighting the same battle. Sometimes you wonder if there is an easier way. Could you build permanent houses, dig into hillsides for better insulation? But no, the people must move, must follow the buffalo, must be mobile. Permanent structures mean being trapped in one place. If the buffalo move, you must move. If water sources freeze, you must relocate. Flexibility is survival. The tipi allows this, can be taken down in an hour, packed, moved, set up again somewhere else. Try doing that with a log cabin. Impossible. So the tipi is not just shelter, it is freedom, it is adaptation. It is the ability to survive by staying mobile. You enter your tipi again. The fire has been built up. The interior is warmer now. Not comfortable by modern standards, but survivable, acceptable. You remove your outer robe. The inner layers are enough here. You can work without being bundled completely. Someone is repairing moccasins. The constant walking in snow and cold wears them out quickly. Seams split, hide cracks. They must be patched constantly, reinforced, otherwise your feet freeze. Frostbite sets in, you lose toes, become crippled, unable to walk properly. A death sentence in a mobile culture. So moccasin repair is critical. Not glamorous work, not exciting, but absolutely essential. Like so many survival tasks. The boring ones that keep you alive. You help with this work. Using an awl made from bone to punch holes, sinew thread to stitch. Your fingers are cold and somewhat clumsy. Fine work is difficult in winter. But you manage, slowly, carefully. The repair is not beautiful, but it is functional. The moccasins will hold, that is what matters. Afternoon comes. The sun angles lower already. Winter days are short, brutally short. Maybe 8 hours of daylight, then 16 hours of darkness. Long nights, endless nights, hard on morale, hard on spirit. People gather together more in winter because of this, cannot bear the isolation. The darkness, need company, need conversation, need to remember they are part of something larger. So tipis host visitors, stories are shared, work is done communally, loneliness is fought with proximity. An elder woman arrives at your tipi. She is struggling this winter. Her husband died last year. Her children are grown and have their own families. She is alone, not good in winter, so she visits, moves between tipis, stays where she is welcome, contributes what she can, receives warmth and food and company in return. No one considers this charity. This is how community works. Today she needs help, tomorrow you might. The system functions because everyone participates. Everyone gives when able. Everyone receives when necessary. No shame, no judgment, just survival. She tells stories as she works, her hand scraping a hide, her voice steady and strong despite her age. She remembers winters worse than this, the winter when the buffalo did not come, when the people ate their dogs to survive, when children died crying from hunger. Dark memories, but important ones. Reminders that this winter, difficult as it is, could be worse. She also remembers winters of plenty, when food was abundant, when the weather was mild, when spring came early. Those memories provide hope, balance, the understanding that hardship is not permanent, that good times and bad times cycle, that you must endure the bad to reach the good again. Her wisdom is valued, not just her stories to know, but her practical knowledge. She knows which plants can be eaten in desperation, knows how to treat frostbite, knows the signs of hypothermia, knows how to stretch food further, knows tricks for staying warm that young people have not learned yet. She teaches as she talks, not formally, just drops knowledge into conversation, mentions things casually, plants seeds of information that might save lives someday. This is how culture transmits, through elders who share, through young people who listen, through repetition over winters and years and lifetimes. The day wears on, evening approaches, the light fades, the temperature drops, the same cycle as yesterday, as the day before, as tomorrow will be, monotonous. But this monotony is survival, boring routines that keep you alive. Dinner is prepared again, the fire is built up again, people settle in for another night again. Repetition, routine, the rhythm of winter life, nothing exciting, nothing dramatic, just existence, just persistence, just refusing to die. You eat your small portion, drink some water melted from snow. The water tastes slightly of smoke. Everything tastes of smoke in winter, but it is wet. It hydrates you. That matters. Dehydration is a danger in cold. People forget to drink, think they're not thirsty. But your body needs water even in winter, maybe especially in winter. The night deepens, stories are told again, or songs are sung, or people simply sit in companionable silence, watching the fire, thinking their own thoughts, being together without needing to fill every moment with noise. This is intimacy of a kind modern people rarely experience. Being with others in silence, not because there is nothing to say, but because everything has been said. Because words are not always necessary. Because presence is enough. Children play quietly near the fire. They have created games with sticks and stones. Simple toys, nothing elaborate. But imagination makes them enough. A stick becomes a horse, stone becomes a buffalo. They act out hunts, adventures, stories they have heard. This is how they learn. Through play, through imitation, through absorbing the culture around them. You watch them and remember being that age. The world seemed simpler then. Adults handled the worry, the planning, the fear. You just played. Ate what was given, slept when told, trusted that everything would be fine. And it was, mostly. You survived childhood. Many did not. But you did. Now you are the adult. The one who must worry, must plan, must make decisions that affect survival. The weight of responsibility sits on your shoulders like the buffalo robe. Heavy, necessary, cannot be shed, but you accept it. This is life. This is being human, caring for those who cannot care for themselves, contributing to the group, doing your part. No one survives alone. Everyone depends on everyone else. This is the fundamental truth of winter, of life, of existence itself. The fire burns steadily. Someone feeds it again. The wood supply inside is getting low. Someone will need to bring more in from outside before bed. No one wants to fetch wood in the middle of the night. Better to stock up now, while awake, while motivated. A young man volunteers. He bundles up, opens the entrance flap. Cold air rushes in like water. Everyone turns away from the blast. He slips out quickly, closes the flap behind him. The cold recedes. The fire reasserts its warmth. Crisis over. He returns moments later, arms full of wood, drops it near the fire pit. His breath steams. His face is red from cold, but he is grinning, proud of himself. He has contributed, done something useful, been responsible. Small victories matter, especially to the young trying to prove themselves. The wood is arranged carefully. Some for tonight, some for tomorrow morning, some held in reserve. Organisation matters, chaos kills. Everything must have its place, its purpose, its time. You notice the hide walls of the tipi shuddering. Wind has picked up outside, another storm coming perhaps. Or just night wind, common in winter. Cold air sinks, moves, creates currents and gusts. The tipi flexes with each blast. but holds, always holds. The design is sound, proven over centuries, trustworthy. Someone begins a different kind of story tonight, a teaching story about animals and their ways, how coyote is clever but foolish, how buffalo is strong but slow, how mouse is small but resourceful. Animal stories, but really stories about human nature, about strengths and weaknesses, about consequences and choices. Children love these stories, but adults listen too because the lessons are layered. A child hears a fun tale about animals, an adult hears wisdom about life, an elder hears echoes of real events, real people, real lessons learned hard ways. The storyteller uses different voices for different animals, makes everyone laugh. Laughter is precious in winter. It warms like fire, lifts spirits, reminds you that joy is still possible, that life is not only suffering, that humans can create happiness even in hardship. The story ends. Applause is not needed. Appreciation shows in faces, in attention given, in the fact that everyone listened. Respect for the teller, gratitude for the story. These matter more than clapping. Sleep approaches again. Bodies are tired from the day's work. Eyes are heavy. The fire's warmth and the darkness beyond create perfect conditions for rest. One by one, people retire to their sleeping areas, arrange their robes, settle in, prepare for another night. You do the same. The routine is comforting now, familiar. You know exactly how to arrange everything for maximum warmth, where to place your head, how to tuck the robes, how to position yourself relative to the fire. Expertise earned through repetition. Tonight feels colder somehow, perhaps the wind, perhaps the clear sky again, perhaps just your imagination. But you wrap extra carefully. Make sure no gaps exist where cold can creep in. Bundle tightly. Become a cocoon of warmth in a world of cold. The fire is banked for the night, covered with ash to slow the burning. It will last longer this way, provide steady heat without constant attention. Someone will wake to feed it, but not as often. Sleep can be longer, deeper, more restorative. Darkness fills the teepee as the flames die down to glowing coals. Just enough light to see vague shapes, the curved walls, the peaked ceiling, the sleeping forms of family, everything soft and indistinct, dreamlike even while awake. You hear breathing all around, slow, steady, the rhythm of sleep. Others have already dropped off, their bodies claiming the rest they need. You're close yourself, thoughts fragmenting, logic fading, sleep reaching up to claim you. Outside the wind howls, a lonely sound, mournful, but you are inside, protected, safe. The wind cannot reach you here, cannot freeze you, cannot harm you. The tipi stands between you and death. Thin barrier, but sufficient. Always sufficient. Your last conscious thought is gratitude again. For the buffalo that gave its life, for the ancestors who learned this way, for the family sleeping near, for one more day survived, for the hope of one more tomorrow. Simple gratitude, deep gratitude. The kind that comes from truly understanding how fragile life is. And then sleep takes you. Complete, total. The sleep of exhaustion and safety combined. Your body goes still, your breathing slows, your mind drifts into dreams, and outside, winter continues its assault. But inside you rest, warm enough, alive, human. The night passes slowly, hours stretch, the cold deepens, stars wheel overhead, the moon rises, full and bright, casting blue light on endless snow. The world is beautiful in its brutality, pristine, deadly, uncaring about human survival. Nature is not cruel, but it is not kind either. It simply is. And humans must adapt or die. The tipi stands in the moonlight, one of many, smoke still rising from the smoke holes, signs of life, signs of resistance against the cold, signs that humans refuse to surrender, that they will endure, that they have endured for thousands of years and will endure for thousands more. Inside, dreams, outside are stars, between hide and wood and fire, the simple technology that makes life possible, not comfortable always, not easy, but possible. And possibility is enough. It must be enough, because it is all there is. Morning comes eventually, it always does. The darkness cannot last forever. The earth turns, the sun returns, light creeps across the snow, the world emerges from night. Another day, another chance, another 24 hours to survive. The fire is very low, almost out, dangerous. If it dies completely, starting is difficult. Friction fire starting is possible, but hard with cold hands. Flint and steel works better, if you have steel. But the easiest method is to never let the fire die. Keep coals alive, always. Constant vigilance. Someone wakes to this near crisis, moves quickly, adds grass, adds twigs, blows gently. The coals glow brighter, smoke rises, then a flame. Small, fragile, but growing. The fire lives. The family will not freeze today. Another crisis averted by awareness and quick action. You wake to warmth spreading, the fire building, light returning, your body is stiff. Cold settled into joints overnight despite the robes. You stretch carefully, work out the kinks, prepare to face another day. Another round of the same tasks, gather wood, find food, stay warm, survive. But today feels different somehow. You step outside after dressing, the air still bites, still freezes exposed skin. But something has changed. The quality of light perhaps, the angle of sun, some subtle shift that speaks to deeper senses, to knowledge passed down through generations. Knowledge that lives in the body more than the mind. Spring is coming, not today, not this week, maybe not this month, but coming. The days are growing longer, imperceptibly, minutes per day, but enough. The tilt of Earth is shifting, the seasons are turning. Winter's grip will loosen. Eventually, inevitably. The cycle continues as it always has, as it always will. This knowledge sustains you, makes the daily grind more bearable. There is an end point, somewhere ahead, not visible yet, but real, certain. Spring will come, it always comes. You just have to last until it arrives. The work continues. Wood gathered, food eaten, tasks completed. The routine is so familiar now it requires little thought. Your hands know what to do, your body moves through the motions. Your mind can wander while your hands work. You think about the future, about spring, about the first warm day when you can shed the heavy robes, when you can feel sun on your bare arms, when green grass will push through mud, when buffalo will calve, when life will explode back into the world. That day is coming. Hold on for that day. But first, more winter. Weeks more, maybe months more. One day at a time, one night at a time. Survive today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. This is the only way to endure. Do not think too far ahead. Do not measure the distance remaining. Just focus on now, on the immediate, on what you can control. The sun climbs higher. The day brightens. Work continues across the camp. Everyone engaged in their tasks. The community functioning. No one idle. No one giving up. collective determination to outlast the cold, to see spring, to survive together. You notice an eagle circling high above. Unusual in deep winter. Most birds have fled south, but eagles are hardy. They remain, hunting rabbits and other small prey, surviving through strength and adaptation. You admire this, the determination to stay, to endure the worst in order to be here for the best. The eagle is a sign, a good omen. The people revere eagles. Their feathers are sacred. Their presence is meaningful. Seeing one in winter, it speaks to endurance, to strength, to the promise that life continues even in hardest times. You feel encouraged, hopeful, more able to face what comes. Midday arrives, the sun at its peak, still weak, still distant, but present, providing light if not warmth. You eat a small meal, dried meat, a few berries, some water, not much, never much in winter, but enough to keep going, enough to maintain strength, enough to survive another half day. The afternoon work is quieter, energy is lower, everyone is tired, the constant cold, the constant effort, it wears on you, grinds you down, makes everything harder. Simple tasks become exhausting, but you push through, because stopping is not an option. Evening approaches quickly. Winter days feel even shorter than they are. The sun seems to barely rise before setting again. Darkness dominates. Cold dominates. You live in a world of shadows and firelight, of small warm spaces carved from vast cold emptiness. But tonight there is a gathering planned. Several families will meet in a larger teepee, share food, tell stories, make music. These gatherings are essential in winter. They break the monotony, provide social contact beyond immediate family, remind everyone they are part of a larger community, that they are not alone in their struggle. You prepare for this, bring what food you can spare, not much, but something. Everyone contributes what they can. The meal will be communal, stretched to feed everyone. No one will be full, but no one will be excluded either. This is the way. Share what you have, trust others to do the same. The larger tipi is crowded, 20 people maybe, more, bodies pressed together. But this is good. Body heat is shared. The space is warmer with more people. The fire seems brighter. The atmosphere feels festive despite the harsh conditions outside. Food is distributed, small portions, but there is variety. Dried meat from different animals, some roots that were preserved, a little fat. Everyone contributes to the stew pot. The result is thin, watery, but warm. Hot food in winter is a gift, a luxury, something to savour. While eating, stories begin. Different people taking turns. Some are funny, making everyone laugh. Some are serious. Lessons about survival. Some are sacred. Religious stories that connect the people to their ancestors, to the threats, to the land itself. All are important, all serve a purpose. Music happens too. Drums, rattles, singing, rhythmic, hypnotic. The sound fills the tipi, drowns out the wind outside, creates a bubble of human culture in the wilderness. This is what separates humans from animals. Not just survival, but creating meaning, creating beauty, creating connection, even in hardship. Children are allowed to stay up late tonight, to participate, to absorb the culture, to feel part of the community. They will remember this. Years from now, when they are adults facing their own winters, they will remember gathering in a teepee. Warmth and music and belonging, these memories will sustain them, give them strength. Young people flirt quietly in corners. Winter is for courting too, for forming bonds that will become families. Life continues, even in darkness. Even in cold, people still fall in love, still plan futures, still hope for children and long lives together. Winter cannot stop this, cannot freeze the human heart, cannot kill hope. Elders sit near the fire, honoured positions, they watch everything, occasionally comment, mostly they just observe, content. Their role tonight is to be present, to represent continuity, to remind everyone that the people have survived countless winters before this one, that they will survive countless more after. Hours pass. The gathering continues. No one wants to leave, return to individual tipis, to smaller fires, to fewer people. This communal warmth, physical and social, is too precious. So they stay, crowded, warm, together, happy despite everything. But eventually, people begin to drift away. Children are asleep, need to be carried home. Adults are exhausted. Tomorrow's work awaits. The gathering cannot last forever. So slowly, reluctantly, families depart. Back into the cold, back to their own tipis, carrying the warmth of community with them. A different kind of warmth, one that does not come from fire. You return to your tipi. The fire has burned low but not out. Someone stayed behind to tend it. Smart. The tipi is cold but not freezing. You build up the fire quickly, heat returns. The space becomes livable again. You settle in for another night. But tonight feels different, better. The gathering recharged something in you, reminded you why survival matters. You are not just staying alive for yourself, you are staying alive for others, for community, for culture, for the future. This gives meaning to the struggle, makes the hardship bearable. You sleep deeply that night, contentedly, the kind of sleep that comes from a full day, from social satisfaction, from feeling connected to something larger than yourself. The cold is still there, the danger is still there, but somehow it feels less oppressive, less overwhelming, more manageable. Days continue to pass, one after another, each similar to the last. Wake, work, eat, sleep. The routine is numbing, but also comforting. Predictability is safety in winter. Surprises are usually bad, so you embrace the routine. Let it carry you. Let it structure your days and nights. The moon cycles through its phases. Full to new to full again. You mark time this way, not by dates or calendars, but by natural rhythms. The moon, the stars, the slowly changing angle of sunlight. Time measured by observation rather than numbers. Ancient timekeeping, reliable timekeeping. Another storm arrives, fierce this time. Snow falls thick and fast, visibility drops to nothing. Wind screams, the tipi strains against the gusts, poles creak, hides flap. But everything holds, the design is tested again, and passes again. You shelter inside, safe, grateful for ancestors who figured this out, who created this refuge. The storm lasts 2 days. Impossible to venture out except for essential tasks. Firewood must be retrieved. Quickly, efficiently, minimal exposure. Otherwise, stay inside, stay warm, wait it out. Nature is showing its power, reminding you who is really in charge. Humans survive here only by grace of good planning and good fortune. When the storm finally breaks, the world is transformed. Snow has drifted into enormous piles, some higher than a person. The camp is partially buried, paths must be cleared, tipis must be dug out, hours of work ahead, backbreaking work, but necessary, cannot live buried in snow. Everyone turns out to help, even children, everyone with a tool, a stick, a piece of hide, anything to move snow. You dig and dig and dig. Your back aches, your arms burn, sweat soaks your clothing despite the cold. But the work warms you, keeps you moving, keeps circulation going. By late afternoon, paths are clear, tipis are accessible, the camp is functional again, everyone is exhausted, but satisfied. Another challenge overcome, another test passed. The community worked together. No one shirked, no one complained, just got it done. This is survival culture. Everyone pulls weight, always. That night, extra food is shared. A reward for the hard work. Not much extra, never much, but something, a gesture, an acknowledgement. We worked hard today. We earned a little more. Small celebrations matter. They maintain morale. Keep spirits from breaking. You eat your slightly larger portion slowly. Make it last. Enjoy every bite. This is abundance in winter. Not a feast, just a little more than usual. But it feels like a feast. Perspective matters. When you have little, a little more becomes a lot. Gratitude grows in scarcity. More time passes. Another week, another storm, another recovery. The cycle repeats. Winter is relentless, never ending, or so it seems. But you know better. It will end. It always ends. Spring is coming, slowly, imperceptibly, but inevitably. You notice it in small ways. The light changes. Morning comes slightly earlier. Evening arrives slightly later. The difference is minutes. Hard to notice day to day, but week to week, month to month, it adds up. Time is moving. The season is turning. Winter is losing its grip. Birds begin to return. Just a few scouts, checkings, conditions. But their presence is significant. They would not come if spring were not approaching. Animals know. They sense the shift. Trust their instincts, and their instincts say, soon warmth will return. Soon life will be easier. Snow begins to melt slightly during the day, then refreezes at night. This creates dangerous conditions. Ice, slippery surfaces, falls can be catastrophic, broken bones, injuries. These can kill as surely as cold, so you move carefully. Watch every step. Take nothing for granted. But the melting, even partial melting, is progress. Water is flowing again, dripping from branches, running in tiny rivulets. The world is waking up, slowly, grudgingly, but waking. You feel hope growing. Spring is close now, very close. You might actually make it. Might survive another winter. Might see green grass again. The thought energizes you, gives you strength for the final push. Because winter is not over yet. Not quite. These last weeks can be dangerous. People relax too soon, get careless, make mistakes, let their guard down, and winter punishes mistakes. Always has, always will. So you remain vigilant, continue the routines, gather wood, maintain fire, stay warm. Do not assume anything, do not celebrate early. Wait until spring is truly here, until warmth is consistent, until danger has passed. Only then can you relax. Only then is survival certain. But anticipation builds anyway, cannot be suppressed. Spring is coming, you can feel it, everyone can feel it. Conversations turn to plans. What to do when weather breaks, where to hunt, where to move camp, what repairs to make, what projects to start. The future is suddenly real again. Not just a distant hope, but an approaching reality. Children sense the change too. They grow restless, tired of being cooped up, eager to run and play freely, to explore without fear of freezing, to just be children instead of junior survival experts. Soon, very soon, they will have that freedom again. One morning you wake and realize You slept through the night without waking once. The fire stayed lit on its own. The temperature was mild enough. No one needed to tend it constantly. This is a sign. A major sign. Winter is truly ending. Its power is broken. Spring has won. Just a matter of time now until it fully arrives. You step outside, the air is different. Still cold, but not brutal, not biting, more like crisp. Refreshing even. The sky is lighter, bluer. The sun feels warmer on your face, not just light, but actual warmth. You close your eyes, let it soak in. This is what you waited for, what you survived for, this moment, this sensation. Life returning. Around the camp, others feel it too. Smiles are more common. Laughter rings out. People linger outside longer, no longer rushing back inside at every opportunity. The urgency has eased. The constant fear has faded. Spring is here, or near enough. The worst is over. You made it. Again, another winter survived. The first patch of bare ground appears, where snow has melted completely. Brown earth. Dead grass, but earth. Visible. Real. Not buried under white. You touch it. The ground is still cold, still partly frozen. But it is ground. Something besides snow. A tiny preview of what is coming. What will soon cover everything. Green. Growth. Life. Birds return in greater numbers now. Their songs fill the morning air. Sound you have not heard in months. Musical. Joyful. Chaotic. The world is filling with noise again. With activity, with movement. Winter was sen. Spring is loud. Raucous. Alive. The contrast is striking. Welcome. Ice on the river begins to break. You hear it crack and groan. Enormous slabs shifting, moving. Eventually they will flow away, carried by current. And the river will be open again, running free. You will be able to fish, to drink fresh flowing water instead of melted snow. Small things, but significant. Each one a step toward easier living. The days grow noticeably warmer. Not warm, but warmer. Enough that you can shed some layers during midday. Work in just 2 or 3 layers instead of 5. This is luxury. This is freedom. You forgot what it felt like to move without being encumbered by heavy robes, to bend and stretch easily, to not fight the weight of clothing with every motion. Food starts to appear. Early plants push through the thawing ground. Tender shoots, roots can be dug again. Not much yet, but something. Variety returning to the diet. Fresh instead of dried. The taste is incredible after months of preserved food. Bitter greens have never tasted so good, so fresh, so alive. Hunting improves. Animals are emerging from dens, moving again. Easier to track in wet snow than in powder. Easier to hunt in mild weather than brutal cold. Hunters bring back game, more frequently, larger portions. The constant fear of starvation finally begins to recede. Bellies are fuller, energy returns, smiles widen. Children explode into activity. Months of restrained energy released all at once. They run, climb, shout, play with abandon, making up for lost time, being children fully again. Adults watch with amusement and relief. This is how it should be. Children should play, should be carefree. Winter stole that. Spring returns it. Work shifts from survival to improvement. Repairs to tipis that were put off. Making new clothing for growing children. Creating tools for spring hunting. Planning moves to better locations. The focus changes from merely surviving to thriving again. From defense to offense. From enduring to living. The camp itself transforms, reorganizes, prepares for seasonal migration. Soon you will move to summer grounds, follow the buffalo, leave winter camp behind. The anticipation is palpable. Everyone is ready. Ready to move, ready for change, ready for new places and new possibilities. But there is also nostalgia. This tipi, this spot, it kept you alive through the hardest months, through storms and cold and darkness. There is gratitude for that, respect for this place. It will be abandoned soon, but not forgotten, never forgotten. Every winter camp becomes part of your story, part of your survival history. You spend an evening just sitting outside, watching the sunset, something you could not do in deep winter. Too cold, too dangerous. But now it is possible, even pleasant. The sky turns pink and orange. The air is still, peaceful. You breathe deeply, fill your lungs, feel alive in a way you did not in winter. Not just surviving, but experiencing, appreciating, being fully present. Stars emerge, familiar constellations. They were there all winter too. But you rarely looked, too focused on immediate concerns, on staying warm, on surviving. Now you can look up again, can think about things beyond survival, can wonder, dream, plan. The mind expands when the body is not constantly fighting cold. Spring is not fully here yet. Cool nights still come, occasional snow flurries. Winter makes a few last attempts to reassert control, but they're weak, half-hearted. Spring's momentum is too strong. The tide has turned. No going back now. Forward only, toward warmth, toward growth, toward life. The buffalo are moving. Scouts report herds migrating north, following the grass, following the warmth. The people will follow them soon. Break camp, pack everything, move out, the cycle continues. Summer hunting grounds await. Different challenges, but welcome challenges. Challenges of abundance rather than scarcity. Challenges of heat rather than cold. You think back on the winter. The hardship, the danger, the constant effort. It tested you. Tested everyone. Some did not make it. Elders mostly, one child, losses that hurt, that will be mourned. But most survived. The community endured. The knowledge worked. The traditions held. Another generation learned. Another winter's worth of experience added to the collective wisdom. You realize something profound. This winter, like all winters before it, was not just about physical survival. It was about cultural survival, about maintaining identity, about passing on knowledge, about staying human in inhumane conditions. The tipi was not just shelter, it was culture itself, embodied in hide and wood and design. A physical manifestation of accumulated wisdom, of adaptation, of refusal to be defeated. Every culture has its challenges, its tests for the plains tribes. Winter was that test, the annual ordeal that proved who they were, that forged character, that created resilience, not chosen, not desired, but faced, endured, overcome. This shaped the people, made them who they were, strong, adaptable, resourceful, connected. Modern people often miss this. Think ancient peoples were primitive, unsophisticated, but they survived, for thousands of years, in conditions that would kill most modern humans in days. That takes intelligence, ingenuity, cooperation, skills most people have lost, traded for comfort, for ease, for technology that does the work for them. There is no judgment in this observation. Modern life has benefits, medicine, abundance, longevity, but also losses, connection to nature, to community, to the knowledge of how to survive with minimal resources. Something valuable was traded away. Not saying we should go back, but acknowledging what was there, what worked, what succeeded where modern solutions might fail. The Tipi is the perfect example. Portable, efficient, elegant, adaptable, made from renewable resources, sustainable. Before anyone used that word, before it became a buzzword. The Plains tribes were living it, not by choice but by necessity, because unsustainable practices meant death. The environment enforced sustainability, harshly, immediately, no second chances. You wonder what those ancestors would think of modern tents. Lightweight, waterproof, convenient but cold, drafty, disposable, single-purpose, inferior in many ways, designed for occasional recreation, not constant living, not survival. The knowledge gap is enormous. Modern outdoor gear is high-tech but low wisdom, fancy but fragile, complex but less functional. This does not make traditional ways better in all circumstances, but it shows. Different challenges create different solutions, and sometimes older solutions are more elegant, more appropriate, more intelligent than new ones. Technology is not always improvement. Sometimes it is just different, or worse, in ways people do not recognize. The sun climbs higher each day, the noon angle is noticeably different. Shadows are shorter, light is brighter. These changes accumulate, build momentum, push winter further back. Soon it will be gone completely, relegated to memory, to story, to the part of the year you survived. Again, preparations for moving camp intensify, tipis are checked, repaired if needed. Everything must be in good condition for travel, for setup at the next location. No time for repairs on the trail. Everything must work, must be ready, must be reliable. Lives depend on it. Always have, always will. Food is inventoried. What remains from winter stores is divided. Some eaten now, some saved for the journey. Some set aside as emergency reserves. Careful planning, nothing wasted, nothing overlooked. Survival thinking does not end with winter, just shifts focus. Different challenges require different preparations. You feel stronger now, physically. The worst of winter weakness is passing. Regular food, milder weather, more activity. Your body is recovering, rebuilding, preparing for the active season ahead, for travelling, for hunting, for the work of summer. Different work, but work nonetheless. Rest is not really an option, not in this life, not in this world, but there is satisfaction in this, in being useful, in having purpose, in knowing your efforts matter, that you contribute, that you pull your weight, that others can count on you. This creates meaning, gives life structure, makes existence more than just consumption, more than just pleasure-seeking, real, substantial, important. The final winter gathering happens, one last time in the larger tipi, everyone together, celebrating survival, mourning losses, preparing for what comes next. There is feasting, as much as possible given limited resources. Music, dancing, storytelling, gratitude, relief, joy, hope, all mixed together. Complex emotions, earned emotions, real emotions born of real struggle. Elders are honoured. They guided the people through another winter. Their wisdom kept everyone alive. Decisions they made, advice they gave, warnings they issued, all proved valuable, proved essential. So they are thanked, publicly, genuinely, respect shown, appreciation expressed. This is how culture maintains itself, by honouring those who preserve it. Young people who came of age during winter are recognised too. They proved themselves, took on adult responsibilities, contributed meaningfully. They are children no more. They are members, full participants, valued, trusted. This transition is marked, celebrated, made official, a rite of passage enforced by winter itself. The gathering lasts late into the night. No one wants it to end. This is the last time in winter camp. Soon everything will change. Movement, migration, different places, different challenges. So they savour this moment, this gathering, this community, this triumph. They earned it. Every person there, every survivor, everyone who made it through, they earned this celebration. You look around the teepee, at faces illuminated by firelight, young and old, family and friends, people you have known all your life, people you survived winter with, people you trust with your life, because you did trust them, had to, no choice. And they came through. Everyone came through, together, as designed, as taught, as practiced. The system worked. Again, eventually, slowly, people depart, back to their own tipis. For the last few nights before moving, you return too. The fire is low but alive. You build it up one more time. Habit, ritual, respect for the fire that kept you alive, that never failed you, that never quit. Simple gratitude for simple things, for heat, for light, for life. You lie down under the buffalo robe. One more time and soon you will pack it, fold it, carry it, set it up somewhere else. But tonight it is still your bed, still your shelter, still your protection, and you are grateful, deeply grateful for this hide, this teepee, this family, this survival. Sleep comes easily. You are tired, content, fulfilled. The kind of tiredness that comes from accomplishment, from completion, from having done something difficult and succeeded. You survived winter, not easily, not comfortably, but successfully. That matters. That is everything. Dreams are peaceful, no nightmares of freezing, no anxiety about fire or food, just calm, restful, healing sleep. Your body knows the danger has passed, can relax in its constant vigilance, can repair and rebuild without the stress of survival dominating every moment. Healing sleep, restorative sleep, spring sleep. Morning arrives bright and clear, warm, almost genuinely warm. You wake and actually feel comfortable. Not cold, not struggling against the temperature. Just fine, normal, human. The sensation is strange after months of waking to cold, months of fighting to get moving. Today, easy, natural, welcome. You dress in lighter clothing, leave the heaviest robe behind. Do not need it anymore. Freedom. You step outside and actually enjoy the air. Breathe it in without it hurting. Look around without squinting against cold. Move without being bundled. Simple pleasures, but profound after winter. Profound because of winter. Contrast creates appreciation. Camp is bustling, everyone preparing to move, taking down teepees, packing belongings, organising loads. Controlled chaos, but practiced chaos. Everyone knows their role, their responsibilities, how things should be done, efficiently, quickly, well. This is not their first migration, not their 100th, routine, expertise, culture in action. Your tipi comes down, poles are bundled, hides are rolled, parfleshes are packed. Everything has its place, its method, its order. Nothing random, nothing careless. Survival culture extends to every detail, even packing, even organising. Because poor organisation means lost items. And lost items can mean death. So everything is done right. Always. The hide that was your home, that was your wall against winter, is now a bundle, portable, ready to become home again somewhere else. Amazing when you think about it. Your house is in your hands, can be carried, can be recreated. This is the definition of nomadic, of mobile, of adaptive. The opposite of roots, but its own kind of strength. The camp is stripped, empty spaces where teepees stood, circles of compressed grass, fire pits, signs of habitation, but no structures, no permanent marks. The land will recover. By next winter the signs will be gone. Grass will grow, snow will cover, and it will be as if you were never here. Except you were. You survived here, you lived here, you exist because of here. Even if no physical trace remains, the people form into a column, a travelling group, order based on tradition. Strong young people at front and rear, vulnerable in the middle, elders, children, injured, protected, surrounded. The community moving as one organism, protecting itself, caring for its weakest. This is how humans survived, not as individuals, but as groups, as cultures, as communities, together. You take your place in the column, carrying your load, your share, what you can manage, what is expected, no more, no less. Everyone carries, everyone contributes. Even children carry something, even elders, scaled to ability. But everyone participates. No passengers, no freeloaders. Everyone earns their food, their survival. This is the social contract, unwritten but absolute. The column begins to move, slow at first, then finding its rhythm, walking, not rushing, steady pace, sustainable. Hours of travel ahead. Maybe days, depends on where you are going, where the buffalo are, where the grass is, where summer camp will be. But wherever it is, it will be better than here. Warmer, greener, more abundant, full of life instead of death. You walk, one foot in front of the other. Simple motion, ancient motion. The same walking your ancestors did for thousands of years. Following game, following seasons, following life. This is human history. Movement, migration, adaptation, never staying where conditions are hostile, always seeking better, always moving toward life instead of death. The landscape changes as you travel. Snow becomes patchy, then disappears completely. Green appears. Small shoots at first, then more, then everywhere. The world is transforming before your eyes, brown to green, dead to alive, winter to spring. The change is rapid now, dramatic. Nature unleashed after months of dormancy. You smell things again. Earth, grass, water. Smells that were buried under snow and ice. Forgotten smells, welcome smells. The world has scent again, dimension, richness. Winter was odourless, frozen, sterile. Spring is aromatic, living, complex. Your senses wake up along with the land. Birds are everywhere now. Not just a few scouts. Flocks, hundreds, thousands maybe. Returning to nesting grounds, filling the air with wings and song. The sky is alive again, moving, shifting, dynamic. You watch them and feel kinship. They also survived. They also migrated. They also endured and returned. Different strategy than yours, but same goal: survive, live, continue. The column stops at midday. Rest, eat, water, check loads, adjust, then move again. This rhythm continues for days. Walk, rest, camp, sleep, walk. The journey is long but not difficult. Not like winter travel through deep snow. This is easy by comparison, pleasant even. Warm sun, green grass, fresh air. This is what you waited for, what you survived for, this freedom, this movement, this life. Children run alongside the column, playing, exploring, no longer confined, no longer restricted. Their energy is boundless, infectious. Adults smile watching them. Remember being that young, that carefree, that full of life. The children represent the future, the reason for surviving, the point of all the struggle, so they can grow, learn, become the next generation, carry on the culture, the knowledge, the people. Finally, summer camp. A valley with a river. Trees, grass, buffalo visible in the distance. Perfect. This is home for now, for the warm months, until autumn comes, until it is time to prepare for another winter. But that is far away. Right now, this moment, there is only spring, only warmth, only abundance, only relief. Tipis go up quickly. Practiced hands making short work of the task. Your tipi rises. Same poles, same hides, same home. Just different location, different view, different season. But familiar. Yours, safe. The continuity is comforting. Some things change, some things stay the same. The balance maintains sanity, provides stability in a mobile life. That first night in summer camp is magical. The tipi sides are rolled up, breeze flows through, cool but not cold, refreshing. Stars are visible through the open sides, countless, brilliant. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of light. You lie there watching, peaceful, content, alive, truly alive, not just surviving, but living fully, experiencing beauty, feeling gratitude, being present. The fire tonight is small, barely needed, just for cooking, for light, not for survival, not for desperate warmth. The shift is profound. Fire goes from necessity to luxury, from life or death to convenience. This is freedom. This is what spring brings. Options, choices, ease, things winter never offered, never could offer. You think about the journey that brought you here, the months of cold, of darkness, of struggle, of constant effort to stay alive. It seems distant now, almost unreal. Did you really survive that? Did you really endure such hardship? But yes, you did. Your body remembers even if your mind questions. The weight lost, the exhaustion, the fear, all real, all survived, all overcome. And you will do it again, next winter, and the winter after that, and every winter until you cannot anymore, until your body gives out, until you join the ancestors. This is life on the plains. This is the bargain. Summer abundance for winter hardship, growth for dormancy, life for survival. The cycle turns forever, endlessly, and you turn with it. But tonight, none of that matters. Tonight there is only warmth, only stars, only peace, only the gentle sound of the river, only the soft breathing of family sleeping nearby, only the knowledge that you made it. Another winter survived, another spring reached, another chance at life earned. Your eyes grow heavy, the day's travel catching up, your body ready for sleep. Real sleep, not survival sleep, not vigilant sleep, but deep, peaceful, reiterative sleep. The sleep of someone safe, warm, fed, content. The sleep of spring. You close your eyes, feel the breeze on your face, hear the river flowing, smell the grass and earth, taste spring in the air. All your senses confirming you are alive, you survived, you made it through the impossible cold, through the endless darkness, through winter. And as sleep takes you, as consciousness fades, as dreams begin, you carry with you the knowledge that humans can endure anything, can survive anywhere, can adapt to any challenge. Not because of technology, not because of comfort, but because of knowledge, community, determination, wisdom passed down through generations, culture that sustains, connections that strengthen, the simple, profound, eternal truth that together humans can survive winter. The tipi stands in the starlight, hide walls glowing faintly, smoke rising lazily from a small fire. Inside ye, a family sleeps, safe, warm, alive. The same scene repeated countless times across countless centuries. The same survival, the same triumph, the same humanity refusing to surrender to winter, to cold, to death. This is how the people lived, how they endured, how they thrived in a harsh land, not through dominance, not through conquest, but through adaptation, through intelligence and through cooperation, through respect for nature and its power, through knowledge earned the hard way and passed carefully to the next generation. The stars wheel slowly overhead, the earth turns, the season continues its shift, and in a teepee by a river, in a valley on the Great Plains, a person sleeps, dreaming of warmth, of buffalo, of life continuing, of winters survived and springs welcomed, of the eternal human journey from hardship to hope, from darkness to light, from winter to spring. Good night.